Ready to Die. The Reason to Die remake that we all know and probably hate or love is extremely dead. The game is littered with drama, controversies, and whatnot. If only we had a fresh start and a new remake to play. In fact, there is a new remake, Reason to Die Afterlife. At first glance, it already has a higher player count than Ready to Die, and yes, when playing the game, it does indeed offer an authentic Reason to Die remake experience. It's got the guns, the zombies, and all the features. After all, the description does claim to try to recreate a one-to-one remake of Reason to Die. If you're wondering how they even made this, it's because they got an uncopy-locked version of R2D8 and basically fixed what's broken or missing. But let's ask the real questions. Is this game better than Ready to Die? Before we answer that, I have to make a quick PSA first. Don't spend your Robux for any gold or tickets in the shop. The developers said in the official Discord that they're going to day wipe everyone at some point, so you will end up losing your purchases. And that also means anything you grind in game will get wiped too. For some reason, there's no mention of any data wipe in-game or in the description, which is extremely concerning. But I don't think that developers intend to scam anyone, but they should definitely mention the data wipe in-game. Anyways, let's move on. Yes, for any game it is very important to offer a good experience to new players. The original Reason to Die Awakening is notorious for being incredibly noob unfriendly, and Afterlife is unfortunately no different. To start off, you only get the Stair M and access to vitamins, both of which are good, don't get me wrong, but you don't have any other guns, and your only armor is the life vest, which is trash. Ready to Die, on the other hand, is a lot more generous. You're given a lot more cash to work with, you get the Wingmaster, Remington, Mac-10, and DB shotgun for free. You also get the Stair M, Colt Python, M93R, Tin Pot, and Shovel for free as well. But that's not all. You have 25 vitamins, health kits, defibs, and ace colas, as well as 25 Stair vests, fire vests, and life vests. In my opinion, Ready to Die easily wins this category as it's quite clear which game is better for the noob. Afterlife is basically the same as R2D8 in terms of survivor stats and features. Some guns are basically missing, but that's not really important. What is important is that the survivors are basically as overpowered as they were in the original. However, since most players are low ranks, the problem isn't as apparent. But I'm concerned how this would go as more people got higher ranks. There are many overpowered guns that higher ranks have access to, and prestiges exist in this game as well. It would be extremely annoying if we would have to deal with those unkillable 400 HP survivors again. Ready to Die is a bit different. There's no prestiging, punching zombies doesn't trip them, and guns are a bit weaker since they have a bloom feature that makes a gun less accurate if you sustain constant fire. In my opinion, the bloom feature is awful. Afterlife guns are way better to use. But overall, survivors seem pretty similar between both games with the exception of prestige. But honestly, Ready to Die survivors are more balanced simply based on how the zombies are being handled, which is our next topic. Wow, zombies. Probably the most miserable thing to play as back in R2D8, and it's just as miserable in Afterlife. The zombie team is basically the same as it was in R2D8. Most of the time, you're condemned to being forced to play as a default zombie, but you have a chance of being spawned as a special zombie. Most of the time, you'll probably get spawn killed, but we still have the zombie leveling feature. In my opinion, this is just a horrible system to include alongside prestige. All it does is punish newbies. If you upgrade your zombie's default damage, it'll basically knock out a large chunk of a survivor's HP if they aren't wearing any armor. This is pretty apparent if you're a noob. That and other problems still persist like the flying C4 leapers. In Ready to Die, it's completely different. Zombies can choose their spawn and you will always spawn as a special zombie instead of a freaking default zombie. Not only that, dealing damage to the survivors gives you money. Survivors will still generally be more powerful at the start of a game, but zombies are a lot more threatening when they have the ability to choose advantageous positioning and can use special zombies instead of default all the time. Anyways, the leveling system has been removed, and zombies got several rebalances instead. Ticker explosions only deal 35 damage, and diggers got their HP nerfed. The brute got the biggest change, with a massive HP buff, but they nerfed the club smash and throw to deal around 60 to 80 damage instead of basically insta-killing the survivor. The smash also has a long cooldown, so you can't stunlock survivors either. Overall, basically zombies don't insta-kill, but they are way stronger just because they have the ability to choose their spawn. and they don't have to play as default zombies either. I mean, charged brutes don't insta-kill either, but they are always a force to be reckoned with. In my opinion, Ready to Die has far better zombie gameplay than Afterlife. In Afterlife, as far as I know, it has almost all the modes that R2D8 had. Whether that would be versus environment, rescue, survival, campaign, FFA, melee smash, bosses, I think they have everything. I even got to kill Kronos thanks to an admin giving us free guns and respawning people. Meanwhile, in Ready to Die, it only has rescue, survival, and one campaign map, which is King Street. Afterlife has almost all the campaigns for comparison. Ready to Die still has other PvP modes like FFA and melee smash, but it's obvious that Afterlife wins this category for game modes. Okay, so I'm not sure how many maps Afterlife has compared to R2D8, but it is definitely way more than Ready to Die. As far as how maps affect gameplay, it doesn't really seem to matter from map to map. Ready to Die, on the other hand, has far less maps, and was forced to create replacements for some maps they didn't have permission to use. Another thing is that maps heavily affect the game's balance, far more than Afterlife as far as I can tell. Some maps make it hard for survivors to lose, while other maps are impossible for survivors to win. Honestly, because Afterlife has far more maps and less polarizing map gameplay makes him the winner in this category for me. Okay, so this is probably going to be the least fleshed out part of this video, but I can say that Ready to Die definitely has an issue with bugs. There's an instant rev up minigun bug, there's leaper bugs, hammer no clip bugs, and a teleportation katana bug. It doesn't completely ruin the game, but they are a problem nonetheless. The developers are not fixing them because they're working on beta, which will basically overhaul the game and replace the old game system. So there would be no point in making bug fixes for the moment. Afterlife, on the other hand, well, I have not really experienced any bugs as problematic as Ready to Die, but that's because I have not really played Afterlife as much as Ready to Die. They do exist in some number, as I can see in the bug report section, but the developers have been consistent in fixing them, so I would say that Afterlife wins this category. Alright, so overall, Ready to Die is better for newbies. It has better survivor and zombie balance, while Afterlife has more modes, maps, and just more updates overall. Obviously, Afterlife is closer to R2D8 than Ready to Die will ever be, and it has way more gameplay content from R2D8 as well. But that also means that a lot of problems that R2D8 has will also return. It's very surprising to me that Afterlife has managed to gain a decent amount of attention and player base, and I think it has a very strong chance at opposing Ready to Die as the main de facto remake as long as it fixes balancing. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.